Okay, so you're scrolling through Instagram, right? And you know you should be posting consistently, but let's be real. Sometimes it just feels like shouting into the wind, hoping something lands.
Yeah, that feeling of overwhelm.
Yeah.
It's super
Oh,
common.
totally. And you feel like you need an edge, maybe boost your profile visibility. Some people check out sites like rapidboost.net for that kind of thing. But what we're really diving into today is something foundational, the Instagram content calendar.
Exactly. That feeling of being overwhelmed. It
Hmm.
often just means you need a better system, a strategy. A content calendar isn't just like a schedule. Think of it more like your roadmap.
Yes, a roadmap to being intentional. We've been looking at insights from mastering your Instagram content calendar, and our whole mission here is to give you a clear step-by-step way to build one.
Right. One that actually works, leads to consistent posts, better reach, real engagement.
We want to cut through the overwhelm, give you actionable stuff fast. So let's kick things off with the why. Why bother with an Instagram content calendar in the first place?
Understanding the benefits is, I think, what makes you stick with it.
Yeah.
It's not just busy work. It really changes how you approach Instagram.
Couldn't agree more. So, first up, consistency and reliability. If you post, here and there randomly,
People tune out. They don't know when to expect content from you.
exactly.
Right.
And they might just stop looking. The book mentioned HubSpot research showing businesses that post consistently get like double the engagement, double.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. It builds that rhythm, that anticipation. People start to rely on seeing your stuff. It builds trust.
And it's not just when you show up, it's what you show up with. A calendar helps you maximize content variety and
It
quality.
totally prevents that rut, right?
Hmm.
Like endless product shots or the same kind of selfie over and over.
Uh-huh. Planning lets you intentionally mix things up. Stories, reels, carousels, different themes, campaigns. Each post actually has a point.
You're thinking strategically, mapping it out. It's proactive, not just reactive scrambling.
Which leads nicely into, well, reducing stress and saving time, because that last-minute scramble, it's exhausting.
Well, definitely. And the content usually suffers when you're rushed.
Right. But if you plan, you can batch things, write a bunch of captions at once, film a few reels,
Get all your assets ready in focus bursts. Then you schedule it out. And suddenly, you have more time for the important stuff, like actually engaging with people.
which is crucial. And another big one, tracking results to fuel growth. When you plan and document your posts.
You can actually look back and see what worked, what resonated, what fell flat.
Yeah, you spot patterns like, okay, reels about X topic always do well, or posting at Y time gets more comments.
That data is gold. It lets you refine your strategy based on actual evidence, not just, gut feelings.
And it's really important to stress this isn't just for huge brands with massive teams.
Not at all. Solo entrepreneurs, freelancers, small businesses starting to scale,
Yeah.
everyone benefits from having a plan.
Okay, so the why is pretty compelling. Let's move on to laying the groundwork, defining your goals and your content pillars.
This part is absolutely fundamental. If you skip this, your calendar won't be nearly as effective. You need that direction.
You need your why for being on Instagram in the first place. Is it brand awareness, driving website traffic, making sales, building community,
And those goals need to be measurable, right? Not just get more followers, but like increase follower growth by 10% this quarter.
or get 20 DMs about my service each month?
Yeah.
Something concrete you can actually track.
Exactly. Gives you that benchmark. Are you actually moving the needle?
Then, knowing your audience. Really knowing them. Who are you talking to? Gen Z fashion lovers, millennial freelancers.
You got to get specific. What problems do they have? What do they aspire to? What kind of content do they actually like seeing?
The book suggested looking at similar accounts, seeing who follows them, what they engage with. That's smart.
Yeah, do a little digging. Understand their world, their language.
Which brings us to content pillars. These are like your main topic buckets, yeah?
Pretty much. The core themes you'll keep coming back to. They should align with your goals and what your audience cares about.
Like the fitness coach example.
Yeah.
Maybe workout tips, client transformations, healthy recipes.
Or the boutique owner. Behind the scenes, styling ideas, customer features.
It gives you structure. The book recommended, what, 3 to 5 pillars?
Yeah, 3 to 5 seems like a good sweet spot. Enough variety, but still focused. Keeps you on track.
Okay, and then frequency. How often should you actually post? There's no single magic number, is there?
Definitely not. Studies suggest maybe 3 to 5 times a week is often effective, but honestly, quality over quantity, always,
Especially when you're starting out, maybe.
for sure. Better to post 3 really good things consistently than 7 mediocre things because you feel like you have to. Find a rhythm you can actually sustain.
Good point. And finally, for this groundwork phase, map out the big dates, product launches, sales, holidays, events.
Get those immovable deadlines and campaigns onto the calendar first. They act as anchors for everything else. It ties your Instagram plan into your bigger marketing picture.
Okay, groundwork laid. Now for the nitty-gritty, actually creating the calendar, step by step.
Right, let's make this tangible.
First step, audit what you're already doing. Look back at, say, the last month or two of your posts.
What worked, what didn't? Use your Instagram insights or other analytics tools.
Look for those patterns, right? Which posts got the most likes, comments, shares, saves? Was it reels, carousels, certain topics?
Exactly. Identify your winners, but also look for the gaps. Were there times you just stopped posting? Did engagement drop
Take
off?
from those dips too, and while you're auditing, gather your existing assets. Good photos, videos, graphics you already have.
User-generated content, maybe? Templates. List out what you can reuse. Having an organized library makes planning way faster later on.
Okay, audit done. Now you need a tool to put the calendar in. Doesn't have to be fancy, right?
Nope. Google Sheets, Excel, even a paper planner can work fine, whatever you'll actually use consistently.
But there are other options too, like Trello, Airtable, Notion.
Or dedicated scheduler apps like Later, Planoly, Buffer. Those often have extra features like visual previews or auto-scheduling. Pick based on your comfort level and needs.
And when you set up your calendar, whatever tool you use, what fields are essential?
You definitely need date, time if specific,
Yeah.
content format, reel, story, post, the actual caption, a link or note about the visual, your hashtags, and the status, like idea drafted, schedule posted.
That gives a solid overview. Anything else people might add?
Could add notes for calls to action, collaborations, maybe reminders to engage after posting, whatever helps you stay organized.
Got it. So tool chosen, layout designed. Now you plug in those key dates first, the launches, the campaigns.
Those non-negotiables we talked about. Get them on the board, they frame everything else.
Then, the fun part, brainstorming content themes based on your pillars.
Yep. Batch brainstorm. Sit down and just generate ideas for each pillar. Think about your audience, your goals. What questions can you answer? What tips can you share?
Like common mistakes first-time homebuyers make, or ways to style a white tee.
Exactly. Maybe assign themes to certain days, like Motivation Monday or Tip Tuesday.
Does that help streamline things?
It can, yeah. Creates a rhythm. Makes it easier to come up with ideas if you know Wednesday is always, say, Customer Story Day.
And mixing up formats is key, especially with Reels being so big.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Don't just post photos. Plan for a mix. Reels for engagement, stories for behind the scenes, carousels for info, maybe lives for Q&A. Assign a format to each planned post.
Okay, plans sketched out. Now actually creating the content, captions, visuals. The book suggests batching this too.
Huge time saver. Get in the zone. Draft all your captions for the week or month. Create or find all your visuals. Use tools like Canva or InShot if needed.
And those captions need a good hook, right?
Right.
Relevant keywords.
Absolutely. Hook them fast. And always have a clear call to action. What do you want them to do? Comment? Save? Click the link. Tell them. And use targeted hashtags, maybe 5 to 15.
And then leverage scheduling tools like Later or Planoly or the Meta Business Suite.
Oh yeah, schedule it out. This frees you up so much. Lets you focus on engaging in real time instead of constantly worrying about the next post. Plus, you can often preview your feed.
Okay, so content is planned, created, scheduled, but it doesn't stop there, does it?
Nope. Now you monitor, analyze, and refine. It's a cycle.
Track those analytics weekly or monthly. Best posts, format effectiveness, did that campaign hit its goals?
Look at reach, engagement rate, clicks, saves, all that good stuff.
And listen, pay attention to comments, DMs. What are people asking for, suggesting?
Use stories, polls, and Q&As to get direct feedback. It's like free market research.
Then use all that learning to tweak your calendar. Double down on what works. Maybe experiment with new things.
Exactly. It's not set in stone. Your calendar should evolve as you learn more about your audience and as Instagram itself changes.
That Lux Lemon Boutique example really showed this in action. They went from struggling with inconsistency.
Analyzing their best content, customer photos, styling tips, and building pillars around that.
Used Google Sheets and later planned 2 reels and 1 post a week.
And boom, 200% jump in engagement, 50% more website clicks, tons of user-generated content in just 3 months.
It shows what happens when you get strategic. So, final best practices and tips.
Stay agile. Plan? Yes, but leave a little wiggle room for trending topics or breaking news if it's relevant to your brand. Don't be so rigid you miss opportunities.
Good one. And repurpose content creatively.
Definitely. Turn blog posts into carousels, video clips into reels. Refresh and reuse your evergreen stuff with new visuals or captions. Work smarter, not harder.
Leverage that user-generated content too. Encourage tags, use a branded hashtag.
Feature your followers. It builds massive trust and gives you awesome content. Think Glossier or Gymshark. They're masters at this.
And sync it all up with your wider marketing. Make sure your Instagram plan supports your launches, your emails, everything else.
Create that cohesive experience across all touchpoints.
And lastly, plan time for engagement. It's not just about broadcasting your stuff.
Crucial. Schedule time to reply to comments, answer DMs, interact with other accounts. Build that community. It's social media, after all.
Absolutely. So wrapping this up, creating that content calendar really is key. It's how you move from just throwing stuff out there to actually building influence and connection.
That's about shifting from reactive to strategic. Remember those first steps. Know your goals and audience, define your pillars, then embrace planning, batching, and analyzing.
And stay flexible. Adapt as you learn.
It's about finding that sustainable rhythm that lets your brand shine.
So the thought to leave you with is this. How could intentionally planning your content truly transform your Instagram? What impact could that consistent, high-quality presence have on your specific goals? Something to really think about as you start building your own calendar.